Okay, still confirm if you can still see my screen. Can you see? Is it okay now? Is it okay now? Let me increase it a bit. So, sorry for the delay as no, we just started and everything is an opportunity to learn. So, like I said earlier, I don't hide my feelings. I the community decided that we should use Telegram. So this is my first time of hosting a meeting on Telegram. So if I encounter any challenge, just bear with me. That's why I say it's an opportunity to learn every day. So you're welcome again. Like for the sake of our new members, it's a database management training which we are focusing on database. So we'll do a brief recap of what we did on day one yesterday. So yesterday we looked at database, and we say database is an organized collection of data accessed electronically, and we also look at types of database. We mentioned relational database, which is abbreviated as RDBMS. That's relational database management system. And we say that this is a database management system itself is a collection of programs used for creating and management of database. So we now have the relational database as type of database. Then under relational database, we have Postgres, MySQL, we have SQL Server, which are under relational database. And we say relational database, they store data in tables, and table uses rows and columns. So example of relational database I've already mentioned. The second type is NoSQL database. This is a non-relational and schemaless database. That is non-relational in the sense that every data is not held in form of tables, and their data are held individually, as in there is no structural connection in the structure of the database. So every data or every yes is, and in this database called collection, every collection is an entirely on its own, even if in reality the data inside are related to other data in the other collection. But in the structural representation, there is no direct relationship that exists between them. So I will also mention MongoDB, Cassandra as an example of this NoSQL. So we also have different types of database. Outside of these two, there are other types. We have in-memory database, we have the cloud database. All these, the cloud database is called cloud in the sense that it is hosted online. Please, Peter, if you cannot hear me at any point, you let me know so that I will not be talking to myself. Please, can you hear me? So at any point in time you cannot hear me, just let me know, because I'm not seeing the screen. I'm not seeing the chat. I'm just looking at the screen as in the material here. So yeah, that's another good idea. That's good. So, all right. So, I was talking about the cloud database. So, the cloud database is called cloud database in the sense that it's hosted in the cloud, and the cloud technology is a different thing entirely. So, we'll not go deeper into this. But the two that are most common or that are commonly used are the relational database and the NoSQL database. So, and in this training, we are specifically focusing on relational database using Postgres as an example of it. So, we have advantages of database. What are the reasons, or why do we even need database? Database allows, so we have efficient data management. I will just be reading this thing because it's there. If you need the material, we also share it. So we have one of the advantages of database is efficient data management, enable you to manage your data efficiently. Let's take for example now, you have 20 million users, just like MTN. Now, MTN might have up to 50 million or how many number or more than that number of subscribers. So, and each of these customers are making transactions, buying data, recharging, making use of data, and all of those things. How do they manage this record? How do they? So, with the help of database now, it enables you to manage your data efficiently. So, the next one is data redundancy. Data redundancy reduction, and we define data redundancy yesterday as duplicating of data. So database eliminates this duplicate data, and when data is duplicated in different places, it becomes difficult to maintain. So with the help of database now, it first of all reduces this duplicate of data, and when it is not duplicated again, it makes the usage easier. The next is data security and access control. Database offer you authentication, authorization, and encryption. So the users can log into the database with password, in which only the authorized users will now have the access to the data through the use of password or other form of authentication. So the next advantages of database is power. It has give you a powerful data query compatibility, or let's say it has the ability, or you can use queries, which we are learning today. We are going to see some of these queries, which is the SQL. So allows you to filter, group, sort, analyze data efficiently. So you can answer complex business questions within a short time. So when we just okay, let's say MTN have up to let's say 30 million subscribers, and MTN want to do promo. They want to see the number of persons that recharge, that spend on recharge or data up to 50,000 in a month. So imagine going through 20 million records, not just 1 million, 20 million. One of those 20, out of one of those persons, like in a month you may recharge like more than 30 times. So imagine the number of records they will have to sort out to get this number of persons. But a simple SQL, a single line of code in SQL can just give you the number of persons, just a single line. So that's another advantage of database. So it also brings about data consistency and integrity. Data consistency, we also talked about it yesterday, that let's take for example now in a tertiary institution, you have your data across different departments, the finance, the department, even in the health unit or like the hospital, also that when you go to clinic, they will just collect your matric number and check your details and they treat you. So you have the student unit or student affair, have exam and record. So all of these units have your data there. So to maintain consistency, let's say my name is Godwin now, it should be able to, everywhere you go, it should be Godwin. Anywhere they want to search my name, that is the name that should appear. If I change my name from Godwin to another name today, that changes should reflect across the entire institution. So that's data consistency. Then the integrity. Integrity has to do with it is true. It is not like it is what you are getting is what it is. So that integrity shows that yes, is authentic, not whether it has changed the other side, but the record has not been updated yet, so it's not aligned well. So it also gives us the opportunity of having a backup and recovery. So let's say after the close of business, you started work from 8 o'clock, 8 a.m. by 4 p.m. At the end of your transaction, you make a backup and kept somewhere. In case of disaster or something happen now, you can now bring that your backup and restore back. So it helps in data recovery. So the next one is relationship between data. Relationship, it helps you to represent your data according to real life scenario. The real life scenario is that, let's say for example now, like we are using the tertiary institution as an example now. I have my data in the department, in the finance, in student and record, in the student affair. So and I also have courses I am offering. I have lecturers that are taking courses. So the database makes it easier for the organization to represent this data according to the real life situation. So because database, the essence of database, it helps is a replication of real life situation. So that when you want to use this data now, it conforms with what is happening in real life, makes it easier for users. Scalability and performance. You can now, if you say your data is growing and increasing, if you're using database or you have organized your data, created a database for your organization or for your any, let's say, an establishment, as your data begins to grow, you'll be able to accommodate it, and the speed at which maybe you are searching for a particular record, it optimizes the speed, makes it easier for you to get any information you want. Then the next one is data reporting and analytics. So the database now helps you to also helps in integrating your data into other data analysis software, like you have the Power BI, you have the Tableau. Even you can connect it to Excel or connect Excel to your database. So it helps in bringing your data source from different sources together, which helps you to generate your report and do whatever your analysis you want to do. So it supports multi-users environment with the help of database through the help of the database management system, which comprises of the software. It gives you the opportunity of having different persons working on the data or working on the database at the same time. Let's say you have, like in banks, you go to bank now, you see like 5 cashiers, you see other person using system. All of them are connected to one database. Even when they are using different systems, they are fetching or retrieving data from the same database. So instead of monotonous work, it gives room to many persons to work on the data or to perform different tasks on the data at the same time without waiting for the next person to finish before you start. So that's another advantage. Support multi-user environment. Integration with application, which is one of the goals of this training. So that at the end of this training, you should be able to design a database system or a database management system, design a database for an organization, a personal database, or whatever you want to use it for. But you should be able to design a standard database. Then not just that, you should also be able to, though this training does not cover much on how you can integrate, but at the end of the training we can also look at it, how you can integrate or connect your database to an existing or a new application. So it helps you, instead of having an application without a storage, what will an application do without a storage, without a means of storage of data? So it helps, the database now helps you to integrate your data into the application you have designed. So the next one is data abstraction and independence. Logical structure is abstracted from physical storage. So all of this, so these are some of the advantages of database. So and we have also looked at the database management system, which we have already defined. So we also move to the next thing, which some of the things we did yesterday. Again, we define table, we look at some keyword like the primary key, the foreign key, you can also call secondary key, and we say that the primary key is a unique identifier for each row or a record in the table. And we say primary key must be unique in each of the table. Let's say if you have a user table now, in that table, then two persons cannot have the same primary key because it is a unique identifier. And we also talk about the foreign key. The foreign key, we say, is a primary key that is found in the table where it is not a primary key of that table. I think you gave example of, let's say, a president of Nigeria visiting another country. In that country, the president of Nigeria is not the president of that country, but you will get a special treatment than ordinary person like me visiting another country. It doesn't concern anybody. But if a president of Nigeria visits another country, we expect that they should be given at least some level of special treatment because of his status as in being a president. So that is how it is. When a primary key is found in another table where it is not a primary key, there is now giving that unique treatment, is giving that special treatment. So it is now called a foreign key. Just like you being in a country where you are not a citizen of that country, you are not a foreigner. That key is not a foreign key on the table. And we also say that tables, we have rows. Rows represent record or individual data entries. You can also call it tuples. So we also have column. Column is also called attributes or fields. Then we have cells. We say yesterday that cell is formed as a result of the intersection of rows and column. So these are just some basic things we did yesterday. So today, we also look at that yesterday. We also look at the structure query language, which we say it's a language that is used in communicating with the database. We say this language, this SQL, is now divided into two types. The structure query language divided into two or classified into two. We have the data definition language, which is called the DDL. We have the data manipulation language, which is the DML. So the DDL now, which is the data definition language, is used to define and manage schema. Schema, when we talk about schema, is structure. There are commands that are used to structure the database, or it can be used to define or alter the structure of the database. For example, now some common DDL command. We have the create, which is used to create a new database, a new table or index or view. We have the alter table, which is used in modifying an existing database object, like add column to table, alter foreign key and primary key, like that. You can use it to drop. The drop is also a DDL command that is used in deleting. You can use it to delete table. When you say drop table user, is an irreversible. Most of these actions, they are irreversible. It's not like in Microsoft Word or in other Microsoft applications. When you do something, you will redo it, you can undo it. So whichever command you want to perform, you look at it, especially those ones that have to do with deleting things. Or yes, especially the DDL command, their actions are irreversible. So you have to be very careful when you do them. So the next one is truncate. Truncate, remove all the records in the table. So when you truncate a table, you are not deleting the table, but you are deleting the data inside the table. Just like you want to empty the table. Just like now we can go to recycle bin and click empty recycle bin. So when you truncate a table, you empty the table. So we also look at this one yesterday. So we are just trying to refresh our memory, and also for the benefit of those who could not join yesterday. So these are some of the examples how you perform those. We will not look at this one here because we are still going to do it practical, how you can perform this action. So we also have the data manipulation language, which is the DML. So this one is used for retrieving, updating, and also deleting of records in the table. For example, now you have select, which is used to retrieve data from one or more table. Insert is used to add new data or row to a table. Update is used in modifying an existing data in a table. Delete, remove data from the table. So these are some of the DML commands. So these are just how you can use it. You want to, but we are not doing this now. Just an example. So it's just like a comparison between the DDL and the DML. So if you need the material, I will now share with you. So we are going to look at a different thing today, a new thing. Let's say we are going to look at data type, because each of the data that is coming into your database or into the table, they are not the same. We have different types of data. We have numeric data, we have the alphanumeric data, we have the decimal, which is still under numeric. So we have different kinds of data. In normal data, when data comes in text, is a text data, combination of numbers and text. We have alphanumeric. So there are different in programming. There are different types of data. So when you are designing your database, you know which column. You don't design with probability, or even if you are not too sure, but you must be as accurate as possible. Accurate in the sense that you have an idea of the kind of data that is coming into that field, or into that field. So for example, now I want to design a table that will hold name, address, phone number, and let's say amount, let's say number, all those things. So you should know the kind of data. So like name now is alphabet. So you can now know that, okay, this is the kind of data type I'm going to use. If you now go and use, let's say you declare it, let's say you are expecting number in the field, but they send alphabet to it, it will cause the database to give error. It will not work. If you are connecting the database to your application, it will crash. If you did not handle the error very well, it will crash your app. Your app will crash. So you need to have an idea of the type of data that is coming into the table, each of the table, or into each of the field. That is where the idea, or we need to look at data types. You have numeric data types, which are numbers. So it could be of different types. You can declare it as small int. Basically, the numeric is also called integer. So when you see small int, it means small integer. That means you can see the bracket 2 bytes. There is a limit that it can hold. So we also have other types of numeric data types, which we'll look at again. So this is the range minus this is it to this. You want to save memory and don't expect large number. You use it when you don't expect any number bigger than 32,767. But if you are not sure of the kind of number that is, whether it will be bigger than 32,767, instead you don't specify the small, you just put integer, which is number 2. And if you see, this one is 2 times of, this one is 4 bytes, the other one is 2 bytes, so you just specify integer. But if you now envisage that the kind of data that is coming, integer will not be able to hold it. So let's look at the situation that suits integer. When default integer for IDs, let's say you have quantity, where you are showing quantity, maybe counting numbers, like mostly it's used as ID, like a student ID, product ID, or product quantity, all those kind of thing that has to do with number. You know that integer will be suitable for that kind of situation. But if you now know that, okay, maybe the kind of number that may come up may be bigger than what integer will hold, you can see it ranges from approximately from minus to and plus 2 billion. That means the value will not be more than 2 billion. So if you see that maybe the number might be bigger than that, instead of using integer, let's take for example, now you're doing an application for bank, for financial institution, and we use integer at where they are holding balance or transaction, let's say balance and account balance. If somebody have more than 2 billion in their accounts now, the digits will be more than 2 billion. So you know that it will not, integer will not work. So you now look for another number, numeric data type that is bigger than integer. You have the, like we have the small int, we have the big int. Which one? This one is big, like the name, big int. It can hold up to 9 minus and plus what trillion. So these are the different numeric data type. We also have the numeric where you can specify, let's say you want to hold something like decimal. You can use decimal or numeric, let's say like maybe let's say SIG, result of student. So you can specify numeric. Then the P and the S here. The P is the total digit and the S is the digit after the decimal. Let's say you're designing a database for institution that will hold results of students. No result comes like 3.1, 3.40, 3. All those must be a decimal. Let's say it must be 2 decimal places, a whole number and 2 decimal places. So you can decide to use numeric, then you specify as 1, let's say the total digit will be 3 digits, so 3, 2. That means after the decimal, there should be 2 digits, then plus the whole number, making 3. That is 3, 2. So we also have other one like double precision, depending. So these are just still under data type, under numeric data type. This, if you can still hear me, just you can drop a sign to show that you are hearing me, so that I will not be talking to myself. Please, if you can hear me, drop a sign. You can drop it under question and answer. Hello, can anyone hear me? Okay, yes, good. Okay, so we can, if I'm too fast, you can also drop a comment. I will see it. You can drop a comment if I'm too fast, or you have it. If I'm too fast, you can let me know so that I will slow down. Good. Okay. Great. So we'll now look at other type of numeric data type. We have the floating. You know, we have the array which is less precise, the double precision. So these are different data types. So we have the serial and big serial. Let's say you want to use numeric data type and you want it to increase by itself. So you can now specify, let's say integer serial. So So often used for primary keys, so that as soon as a new record entered into the table, the first one will be 1, the second one will be 2, the third one will be 3. So it will be increasing like that sequentially. So you can now specify serial or big serial. In all of these data type that we are going to look at today, we will still go into how we can use them. How do you use them? I'm just, we need to build a foundation. If we go straight to the design like that, you may understand it, but after the class, if you are being faced with a live situation to design a database, you may not really be able to do it, even when you understood it in the class. But when you get this foundation, it will now help you to do any task you want to do. So we'll also move to the next one. So this is how some of this is how it is used. So let's say you create a table called numbers example. Then you specify it ID serial as primary key. Then the other field as small value. This is how you specify. Then the regular value, which is the normal integer. Then the big value, you can specify it as big int. Exact value, you can put numeric, that's 10 digit with 2 decimal places. So double precision. So approximate value, which is real. Approximate value, we have the real, you specify it as real. Then the double value, that is double precision. That is, all these are to handle decimal. You can choose any one that suits you. You can just use this numeric to handle decimal by specifying the number of total digits, then the number of digits after decimal. So whichever suits you, but at least you should know what will be good for your situation or your scenario. So the next different types of data type now is the character type, which is used for holding text. So we can specify as character as char bracket n. The n that represents the number of character you want. So this one has a kind of limited number. Let's say if you specify char 10, that means you need a 10 character. Anything more than 10, your app, if you're connecting it with app, it will crash. If you're using it directly inserting, the record will not insert. So that's why you need to be mindful of the one you use. So there is another one again that you use that can hold that bigger data. It's called the var, which is called variable character. You can call it, that's why you call it var. This one you can specify the number inside, but if you don't want to specify, you can leave it to default. The variable length up to end character, that is the number of characters you specify. So mostly commonly used is as a string text or alphanumeric. You can hold things like character, text, and alphanumeric. So we'll also look at the next. So these are the objects how you can use, in which we are going to look at them, how you specify them. But this one is, so we still do practical on this. So we also have, you can decide to use text. If you don't want to limit the character by using var, text as a data type holds larger number of data than the variable character, which is called the var. It's unlimited. So let's say you're holding, let's say it's an exam, let's say write 70 or 700 words. All those kind of things, you must have come across things like that, or you're expecting a large number of data from user. Let's say they are typing something like pasting resume or pasting cover letter. So you expect it to be a bit large. So you cannot use var there. So what will be suitable now is to use text. So another type of data type again that we will be using, or that we will be using in this field, is date and time. date and time. The date, it holds calendar date. It doesn't attach time to it. For example, something like this. So when you specify your data type as date, it holds this like this. So when you're designing your database and you know that this thing is going to hold date, what type of date do you want? Do you need date with time, or you just need date alone? So if you need date with time together depends on the situation. What do you want to achieve with it? How will the time attached to date be useful to you? So if you see that you need to know the date and time that something happened, you don't use only date, you don't use only time, you go to the one that is called the time stamp. The time stamp, now you can see this is how it presents it will be stored in the database. It will give you the date and the time that particular thing occur. So because of different time zone, you can maybe use with time zone, or if you don't know the time zone, you just specify that timestamp. Your database management system will now look at it and give you the time zone based on your own system time zone. So the next one is you can use with time zone. I've already explained it. You can use it without specifying the time zone. So it gives you it will still be correct. So interval, let's say you want to store the time like in form of like 5 hours ago, 2 minutes ago, 5 minutes ago. This kind of, you are not giving the exact time, but you're using duration or interval. This is if you need this kind of data in the table or in the field, you can specify this interval. It's also a data type under date and time. So it stores things like 2 days, 3 hours ago. But if you design your application, there is a way you can calculate it to be showing as like interval. So just understand that it's for interval. So we also have another type that is called a Boolean data type. Boolean is like a logic data type, a logical data type, which mostly would be yes or no, true or false. But data type can also be null. Null means it's not like empty totally. It's not empty. Let's say it's not empty. As you progress, you will know the difference when a field is empty and is null. They are not the same thing. So if you declare a data type, a field to be Boolean, so if there is no record in it, you can specify default to be null, or you can specify, if you want everything to be true, you can specify default true or like that. So it depends on the situation you want to use, but just understand as the Boolean data type is like a logical data type that either hold yes or no, true or false. But in the absence of this, it will be null. To be null. So does not necessarily mean when a field is null, does not necessarily mean it is empty. Sometimes if you are expecting a value and the field is empty but not null, you see it may crash. But if it is null, it may prevent your code will run. So the next one is the UUID. The UUID is the universally unique identifier. This is one of the unique way of generating primary key in your table, apart from using ID, serial number, or integer serial. This one gives you a universally unique identifier. What it means is that if you have like 5 tables in the database and you are using this UUID as to generate primary key, it will auto-generate, and in your database it will be unique. it will not duplicate anywhere. You will not what, let's say the one generated for me, if next person now enter record and it generate for the person, it will not be it can never be the same. Even if we are up to 200 million there, it will be unique. So it's a very powerful field that is mostly used as primary key also. So if you look at when can you use this, when you use when you want globally unique keys. Example for distributed system. Distributed system is like maybe your app or your software is running on different systems. Though this one is a different field. Distributed system is when and the task is shared among different computers and they all perform the task concurrently to increase the speed. So when you are working on different systems and later you are bringing this data together, so if you use serial now, the other person is using serial, the other person will be counting 1 2 3, your own will be counting 1 2 3, and when you bring them together now, you will have one like in how many places, 2, like duplicate 2. But if you look at, if you're designing a situation like that now, you now see that no, integer serial cannot solve this problem for me, because when a person in another location bring his own data to my own location now and we merge, we will have duplicate primary key. Therefore, integer or serial auto increment cannot work as a primary key. So we now resort to using the universally unique identifier, which is called the UUID. That will now, even if you're generating your own differently, I'm generating my own differently, we bring them together, it will still remain unique. So which example that you can say, let's say here is a passport number that never repeats. So let's say, now imagine the number of persons that will apply for passports. So you see it will remain unique forever. So it's a very powerful data type. So the next is binary. So all these are not commonly used. So because of time factor, if I see the one that is not too common or we may not use it often, I will fast forward because we are supposed to close by 6. So next week you need to join early. We are doing this free or be waiting for persons because it's the first week. So next week we will not wait. As soon as it's that time, we'll start so that we can meet up. That is already 7 minutes past 6 and we are expected to close by 6, 1 hour on Sunday. So I may not explain this further again. We will now move into installation so that by next week we will begin our practical fully. So if there is any question or something you don't understand or any field, any data type that you don't understand, we will explain as we use those data type. So we will now move, if there is any question you can ask, so that we will now use the next 15 minutes. Sorry, like we give extra 15 minutes, we will now use 15 minutes to answer question and do the installation. So question like 5 minutes, 10 minutes for installation. Please, if you have downloaded the software, just say yes so that I will know the number of persons that have downloaded. I already have the application on my system, so I may not do the installation. If there is anybody, I don't know, Peter, if you have the app there, you can, if you have the app there, you can share your screen so that we direct other person to follow the same step. I cannot install two because I already have PG admin on my system here. So I cannot, you can see I already have PG admin here, so I will not be able to install another one again. So Peter, if you have, you can let us know so that you share your screen.
Okay, sorry to interrupt you. To my system, that's the issue. I'm not connected to my system. I don't know if there's anybody that's connected to their system. They can just share
Okay, is anybody connected to your to his system so that
Okay, so I believe somebody wanted to speak. I think Mr. Steve wanted to speak.
okay.
Please.
No, you click on next. Click on next. So yes, see this Postgres pgadmin start builder. Uncheck the start builder. Uncheck the start builder. Can you hear me? Click on it so that it will uncheck. Click on it. Click on start builder. Click on start builder. Okay. Press space. That space bar. Your mouse is not moving. Click next. Use tab key. Let's see. Now that it's there. Click on the space bar. It is the start builder is active now. Click on space bar. Press the space bar. Press space bar on your keyboard. Okay. So when you install now, you may get error because you will not be able to install the start builder. You don't even need it. Just continue. But we don't need, if you're installing, don't just click on the start builder. Uncheck the start builder. We don't need start builder. But you can still continue. Maybe your system is hanging. But I know it will. Okay. An existing has been found. You have Postgres before. You downloaded and installed. We need somebody that will give us a fresh installation so that we'll know when you progress from here to ask you for password, username, all of those things. These are the things we want to see. So that, but you can continue, Asha. You can continue.
Sorry, please, before we go on, since we want, to do a suggestion, I think for those persons that might not have not used it before, can we have like I think Mr. Steve, somebody else can come bring up his system and let's start the installation from the basic so that we don't. Or Mr. Godwin, is what we're seeing on the screen, is this the basic? Is there anything we're missing?
Yes, there are things that are not showing because he has already done the installation before. So some screen will not show.
Okay, sir. I think Mr. Steve.
Okay, Mr. Steve said, Mr. Steve, you can share your screen, please. Let's wait for Mr. Steve to share his screen.
Let him zoom in so that we can see.
Okay, so you can zoom it so that but yeah, that's the size. That's the size. You may not be able to zoom the screen. But me, I'm seeing it clearly. I don't know, maybe because maybe are you using phone? I can see his screen clearly. So you can click next now. Next. So look at you are using seven. Is it not the one I shared? Don't click that one. Your own is version 17. You can continue. Don't click on the start builder. Click next. Click on next. Click next. So password, you type a password that you will remember. If you forget a password, you will not be able to log into your database. So I will not tell you what to use. Use what you can remember by yourself. Anything you can remember. Make sure you remember it too, because okay, click on next. Click next. So your port, if your port did, wait, hold on first. If your port did not show, please go back again. Don't click on anything. Just click back again. Back. The back button. Yes. See the port number 5432. If your port number did not show 5432, you can let us know in the group when you are installing. So click next. So next. Next. So we wait for it to complete. You click next. It may take a while. It's not clicking. Hello? Yes. Is it not clicking? Okay, the installation has started. But this your version, is it the one I sent? Is it, did you download it through the link I shared?
Yes, I downloaded through the. I have one before that I downloaded yesterday, but I was on the video and I still download the one you shared.
This your own is version 17. My own is version 15. That's why maybe you are installing.
Because I have the two.
Maybe you are installing version 17. Please, it's not good to use too higher version. I mean, let your version not be too higher. So that when you, let's say for example now, if you use version 17 now, if you send your database to me, I will not be able to use it. Mine is version 15.
So should I stop this?
No, just continue. We can do that one later. Yeah, continue. Just take note so that you reach out to me. I will remove it for you. I will remove it, and you now install version 15. I want all of us to be on the same version. Can you hear me? I want us to. So when after putting your password, it will open like this. To be blank. Don't mind this one that I show you, to be blank. So you come to file. This is where you do your setting. There are different settings here you can, but reset layer. Let's come to preference. So you click on preference. You scroll down. You see parts. Parts. Under parts, you will see binary parts. You scroll down. So I am using version 15. So you click on this box. You see a button. You click on it. Can you still see my screen? The new page that opened. You can still see the new page that opened, right? Hello, please, if you can still see the new page that opened up, just indicate yes. There is a page that opened now, where a folder is like a folder. Can you still see it? Okay, if you cannot see, maybe if you watch the video, you will be able to see it. Okay, good. So you click on your PC, you need to locate the folder under, you go to program file. Program file. So you search, if you see Postgres there, it's not, sorry, it's supposed to be the other program file. You click here. If it's not that side, you click Postgres, you will see Postgres. So when you see Postgres, you open it, you see the version number. You open it, you will see bin. You select bin. You click this, there is a select folder button here. You click it. So you can, it will now select the paths to your PG admin. That is when you can use it to, that is when you can restore database, do backup. If you don't do all this, you will not be able to use your PG admin to do backup, to restore database. So when you can click on this button called validate. It's not called validate anyway, but when you use your mouse to touch it, you will see validate. You click on it. It should bring this page for you, where the PG dump or PG restore, PG SQL with a version number. Then you now know that you are in order. So you click OK. So you are done with that. You are done with your installation. So when you click OK, you click save, the page will disappear because I have not made any changes to mine and it has already been set. So the save button is not active again. So I will just click the cancel here. But you, as soon as you click save, the page will disappear. So you have set up your PG admin. So to create database, and this is the last thing we are going to do, please. You will now come to where you see database here. You right click. You come to create. You click on database. So let's say this is, let's say we'll call it database management. Let me use small letter, database management training. Or let's say, let me call it student database. Let me just call it student. So I want to create a database called student or training. Anything you can specify the name here. Let's say training. So you come down. This is the own users showing as owner, comments, but you may not necessarily fill anything. Just fill the name. You can use underscore, anything that you want to do. Let's say DBS, still okay. That is training database or anything you feel like to use. Underscore work, number, also work. So you now click on save. You have created a database. So you now have, you use this method to create your database before you can now start creating your tables. So we have our database that we are using is called Training DB. So you now right click on it. Hello, can you hear me? Please, if you can still hear me, just say yes. Can you hear me? Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I can hear you, but please check your DM. It's very urgent. But I can hear you. Check it.
Okay. Okay, so this, can you drop it on WhatsApp, my WhatsApp? I can't see it on Telegram here. Just, okay, I've seen it. All right, I have seen it. So we just have less than 2 minutes. Less than 2 minutes, we'll go. So in this our database that we want to create table. So you right click on your database. You come down and see query tool. You click on query tool. So it will open up here. You can now type your code. So let's say, for example, I want to create a table now. We'll call it registration. Create table. So you now specify the name of the table. Let's say users. Or let's say registration. So you open you open and close brackets. So you will now ask you can end it with a semicolon. So you inside the open and close brackets, you will now specify the column. So you say ID, integer, serial, primary key. So comma, the next one, you have student name, or let's say applicant name. So what kind of character do we want? We can say varchar. We want to specify the number. We can say let's say 255. So we just want to do a short. So let's say you want to, let's say phone number. You want to collect phone number of your applicant. So what can hold phone number? You can still use varchar. Let's say you want to use, this one is 100. So you have specified the code for writing to create registration table. So when you use this button to execute your command, so if you click this command now, it will now create a table with this column for you. Sorry, I put serial. Let me just use integer. Let me just use integer. So it has created a table for us. Today we have created a single table called registration. So if you come down now, this is our database. You screw it, you click on it to open, it will open. You come to schemas, you click, you screw down to table. You should see table. This is the table registration. So if you can also view this table, you can let's just use a simple command to view table. Select star from, let me just copy it to make it short. Though we have come to the end of today's class, but just where we are going to continue from tomorrow. So if you run it now, I highlight it because there are so many code here. I want to run only this so that we can see the table that we created. So this is the table we created with ID specified as primary key integer, then applicant name, phone number. So we have successfully come to the end of today's class. So if you have, we will not, I don't know if there is any question or anything. So thank you so much for making out time today. All right.